all the exercises are done under confidential condition. We don't publicize it. We only release the news, but we don't go into detail. We don't let the people participate in the exercise.
That much, yeah.
But this is the first time we had the exercise with China. So we need something to highlight the event.
Sawadee, welcome to Thailand. Today I'm Kusumayo Thasud as your host. In another sign of Thailand's increased engagement with China, the Royal Thai Air Force and China's People's Liberation Army Air Force are now conducting Falcon Strike 2015 joint training in Nakhon Ratchasima, beginning November 12th until November 30th. To coincide with the 40th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between Thailand and China, the two air forces will also organize joint aerobatic performances to thrill members of the public at Wing 1 Korat Royal Thai Air Force Base later this week. So Thailand today welcomes Group Captain Suebpong Satamarn, the Deputy Spokesperson, Royal Thai Air Force, to our program. We will discuss defense cooperation between the two countries' air forces. He will take this opportunity to invite the public to welcome the August 1st aerobatic team to Thailand. Please welcome Group Captain Suebpong Satamarn. He is the Deputy Spokesperson to Royal Thai Air Force. Sawadee. Welcome to Thailand today, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here.
Well, away from the airfield, how are you today, sir?
Very good, thank you.
Well, we're going to talk about our relationship in a different dimension with China.
I see.
So this is another way of how do we extend each other. So it's all about what you are arranging at the moment. So Royal Thai, what is Royal Thai Army in dealing with China at the moment?
Well, actually, as you can see that our countries, Thailand and People's Republic of China, we are very close together. We are related, actually. So during the long-term relationship at the national level, we have developed the good partnership between the two countries. And so in the military aspect, we are improving, we go further to another step. And this is a military cooperation in a new level.
Wow. So it's supposed to be your first time ever?
Yes, of course. Actually, for the Air Force, yes. But before that, we will also have the relationship between other service forces. For example, in the Royal Thai Army and the People's Liberation Army, they do have the relationship through the exercise. And also the Navy. For the Army, we call it the strike exercise. And the Navy, Blue Strike. So this time, to complete the three service forces, we're going to be arranging what we call the Falcon Strike. This year is the first time.
Well, as a layman, I do not understand because it is because the Chinese bringing along their own people, their own aircraft and all that.
Oh yes, of course. Since we take these things seriously, because it is going to be another milestone of the close relationship. Well, let me bring back to you back in 1975, when Thailand and China first started the diplomatic relations. So it has been 40 years.
40 now, yes.
Yes, of course. So we initiated the new dimension, as you mentioned. Now we have the exercise and the ground level and the maritime exercise for the Navy, and now to cover the three dimension, the Air Force. So I believe that I am sure that the People's Liberation Army Air Force, or simply called Chinese Air Force, they look forward to the very fruitful and beneficial outcome of this exercise. So this is quite even though it is the first time, it's quite a very, to show up the high performance of the aircraft.
Wow, I'm looking forward for that. I think it's going to be very excitement.
Well, let me say that we bring our best of the best to this event.
Wow. Tell me, because the Chinese is also good friend with others. Do they have the same practices or training like this with the other country in ASEAN?
Oh, well, I believe so. But as for Thailand, we do have the exercises with our allied countries, including some of the ASEAN members. We have the exercises with Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, and now we go further to our allies outside the ASEAN. So, as you know, China is a very one of the superpowers in the world. So we have to be, to improve our strong relationship for the future.
It can be a friend in need is a friend indeed.
Oh yes, of course. That you might say that. You might want to say that. Yes, of course.
Okay, so let's come back to this show. What is the tactical purposes of this Falco Strike 2015 joint training?
Okay, if we think about the training military personnel as some kind of the athletes or sports persons, we have to get ready. We have to be physically ready, mentally ready. And if you practice in some sports, you want to change the counterparts, right?
Yes.
So that you will learn the new tactics. So as you know, the Chinese Air Force is one of the strongest, the most powerful air forces in the world. So we need to learn some tactics. We need to cooperate. We need to get our personnel to become familiar with each other. And you know that we also share other benefits with China in many other aspects in the trading, commerce, technology and everything.
Yeah. So, can you tell me how to divide it? So we have our own aircraft, or how do you use it? Can you go a little deeper for each?
Well, yes. The latest purchased aircraft in Thailand is the Gripen, the Swedish-made Gripen.
Right.
It's a brand new technology. It's very advanced technology
this is Thai
in
first.
the aviation.
We're talking about the Thai first.
This
Okay.
is Thailand. We deploy the Gripen aircraft from Surat Thani Wing 7 Surat Thani Air Base to Wing 1 Korat, which is the training exercise area. So Chinese Air Force also assigned their Su-27, which is also the advanced technology in the aviation. So this was like, if it comes to boxing, this is some kind of the heartbreak and heart-throbbing.
Really?
It's very excited. Yes, and we can bring the highest advanced technology from each Air Force into one event, into one exercise.
And the Chinese will being the one that disappeared disappeared and come again back.
Well, actually, we would see that. We would learn, he used the highest tactics. We learn each other, sharing experiences.
Of course, that is Thai. That is the Thai Air Force. How about the Chinese one? Chinese one called August. What did it
actually,
call?
That is a different event,
okay, now,
but we happen at the same time.
Okay, now let's say about this first. Now you have that, and what is China having?
Okay, since this is the first exercise with the Chinese Air Force, well, if we say that it's a military exercise, we want the public to be part of the exercise too.
Yes.
All the exercises are done under confidential condition. We don't publicize we only release the news, but we don't go into detail. We don't let the people participate in the exercise.
That much.
But this is the first time we had the exercise with China. So we need something to highlight the event. So Chinese Air Force, they do have the aerobatic team called the August 1st. The aerobatic team is very famous. So to add more excitement, to get attraction from the people that this is the first exercise with China, so they bring with them the aerobatic team to perform for public.
Yeah, when you said about public, but how if they want to have a look, and how do they have to get the ticket or something?
Oh no, not at all. It's free of charge. You go to a Wing 1, and you can participate in the to see the air show from the August 1st.
Very interesting. So I hope you're looking forward for that. So how often do Royal Thai Air Force conducted a joint training like this with the foreign counterparts?
Oh, actually, every year.
Every year.
We have the joint and combined exercises. If we come to joint exercise, that means we have arranged the exercises with different forces, for example, Air Force and Army and the Navy. But if it's a combined exercise, it's the Air Force, but different country. So the big exercise like copper gold is called the joint and combined exercises because we have all the service forces with many countries involved. We conduct it every year.
But this is separately.
Yes,
This is another.
separately,
This
yes.
is just mainly. Also, effort also joining the copper gold
Yes, of
every
course.
year because you've been showing off the
Yes,
might
it's a
and fight.
multi-dimension exercise.
So, what are the benefits of this training?
Oh, of course. As I mentioned earlier, we have, as a military personnel, we deal with the national security. We need to get ready, right? Because we don't know any, some kind of any threats coming up. So, as a military personnel, we have to become ready, and we have to become ready. We have to improve our skills. We have to learn from different countries. We have to share the tactics, experiences, improve the skills of our pilots and all the personnel. And this is the benefits we gain as a military aspect. But another thing is that national security, since we have the exercises together with other countries, we would be sharing some kind of the partnership, improve the partnership and the relationship, cooperation, everything.
That everything is must be including with the advanced aircraft, advanced equipment, training, everything, right?
Yes, yes.
So what we have is comparing to them. We can somehow go along with them. What we have with such kind of high-tech aircraft.
Well, actually, the aviation technology in Thailand is also in the top level, in a very high level.
Yes.
I would say that, especially in this part of the world, in this area, in Southeast Asia. And so we cannot just stop here. Under the limited budget of the Royal Thai Air Force, we have to make the most of what we have purchased. For example, we purchased the Gripen aircraft. We have to utilize, we have to optimize the use of these aircraft. So we not only for the skills of the pilots, but also every personnel, the ground supports, the technicians, every part of the Air Force.
So what are the difference between joint training and joint exercise? Is there any different?
Well, actually, exercise like when you created a scenario and you put all the personals and under the planning scenarios, and but the training was more like before you go into the arenas. So let me say that it's exercise more like a competition. When you send your representatives from different countries into one competition, into the boxing ring, into the soccer field. But the training is like you are doing that in the training camp. Before you send the people to the competition, you're getting ready, you train your personnel, something like that.
As a Thai Air Force, it seems to be, to us all, is something, an organization or institute to rely on. So we are happy with that. This is the highest national security that we have.
Yes, of course. The Royal Thai Air Force, the same as the Royal Thai Army and Navy, our responsibility deals with the national security. But we also use our capabilities, our people, our personnel who have been well trained in other aspects as well. For example, in the humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. As you remember, many years ago during the mega flood here in Thailand, we provide our troops, our forces, our equipment, assets we have, the aircraft, ships, all the carriers, everything, vehicles, everything, to provide to suppress the any negative incidents that happen to the Thai people. We also provide that during the peacetime too.
How Thailand and China military cooperation will enhance the defense of our two countries?
Well, as you know that in the world today, in the ever-changing world where all the non-traditional threats are coming, and so what we need is to make friends, as many friends as we can. So in this region, even though we are quite a long way apart, but since the worlds are connected through technology, so in order to make friends, to make sure that we have the closer cooperation, not
to one,
but like not regionally, but it's connect the world together. We have to to share the common interest in every level, not just a diplomatic level, but also military, which is one of the most important aspects of any country in the world.
So, how about, we are so excited. I'm a Thai who listen to you, and I'm so looking forward for that. How about the Chinese? What did they say? What did they express the feeling of first time coming this time?
Of course, even though China seems to have a lot of friends here, but one more friend would add to the benefit. You know that Thailand is one of the most important countries in this area. This area, Southeast Asia, is one of the critical part of the world. So we are rich in the natural resources. We are some kind of a strategic choke point for many superpowers who are very interested in having the influence in this area. So China is no exception to that. So in order to make friends, to get in closer relationship, especially in the military affairs, would add a lot of benefits to them.
Yeah, because a military affair is not to be known so much to the people, because that's among themselves. We are the one who receive it. We are the one to listening to it. So this is the first time, as you said, the Chinese showing the aerobatic team. So what do they expecting to see this Chinese shows?
Well, of course, the aerobatic team, the air show is not just the air show. It's just not just like they're showing it's an exciting show, but it represents the capability, the skills, expertise in flying of the Chinese pilots. And one interesting thing is that there are also female fighter pilots.
Yes.
As you can imagine that the young ladies flying the high-speed, high-performance aircraft, jet aircraft, which are the aircrafts manufactured in China.
Oh, that's the Chinese.
That's the Chinese pride.
So we're going to train some Thai ladies also?
Well, actually, maybe in the future, because I believe that the Thai women are also very efficient and very proficient. They can do anything.
They can. So, last but not least on this, how can we compare, little comparing on the August 1st with the Thunderbirds or the Red Arrows?
Well, one more thing is that one interesting thing is that they draw attractions from people around the world. But Thunderbirds and the Red Arrows and maybe Blue Angels have been around for a long time. But the Chinese Air Force is also trying to compete with the legendary Thunderbirds. So I believe that not long into the future, we will hear a lot more about the August 1st.
Okay. So you mean for the Thai is the Thunderbird, right?
No, U.S. Air Force.
The U.S. Air Force. They're also joining? Oh no, this is a Chinese doing it with the Red Arrow that they called it. Right?
Red Arrow is for Royal Air Force, from England.
England. So Thunderbirds is the United States. Yes. Red Arrow is that. So the August 1st is the Chinese.
Yes.
But for us?
We do have the Blue Phoenix. We use the PC-9 trainer. Well, it's the PC-9 is a lot slower than those jet fighters. We use the Blue Phoenix on the special occasions.
So what are you expecting? People, number of people to watch this, and what do you expect?
Oh, I believe that there will be, uncountable number of people. Since the admission is free of charge, and this is a historical event. This is the first time that we have the exercise with Chinese Air Force, and also the aerobatic team is performing. So I believe that people are very interested, and there will be a lot of people participating in this event.
How many number of the Chinese coming this time? The whole team?
You mean all the personnel?
Yes, I'm looking for a kind of a tourism business. So I'm asking about what is the whole team number that coming this time?
About maybe 106 people,
Not bad.
Including all the ground supports and technicians.
Oh wow, it's a big thing really. They will also visit Bangkok and other area. Surely.
Oh, yeah, they will start in Korat first.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a lot to offer in Korat at the moment.
Yes, of course.
Yeah?
I'm sure they're going to have a good time here.
Yes, I have a minute for you just to invite the people to join, to have a look. It is the first opportunity for them.
Well, since this is the first exercise between the Royal Thai Air Force and the Chinese Air Force, and also we highlight the special performance by the August 1st aerobatic team, I can guarantee you that this is going to be very interesting. And so please, if you have time, please join us at Korat Wing One. You won't be disappointed. I can guarantee you the excitement. Thank you.
There's a good opportunity for you not to miss it at all. Yeah. Well, Thailand today would like to thank Deputy Royal Thai Air Force spokesperson, Group Captain Suebpong Satamarn, for his knowledge on the military cooperation between the Air Forces of Thailand and China. Last but not least, the August 1st aerobatic team has prepared 4 performances plans for the 2-day shows in Thailand on November 26 to 27 at the Wing One Korat Air Force Base. So don't miss it at all. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching Thailand today. I'm Kusuma Yothas. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Sawadee.
This exercise is the first exercise between Thai Air Force and People Liberation Army's Air Force. We start the exercise for like a relation for 40 years, and the exercise is basic training to understand each other, and we get more cooperation between two countries. In terms of this exercise, we focus on the cooperation, planning and understanding the standard procedure between two air forces. And the exercise we do as planned, and everything is goes smoothly because we very care on the plannings and evaluation every flight. I think this exercise is very success in terms of fighter to fighter and Air Force to Air Force, airman to airman. We plan the initial initiative is from air working group between our Air Force, and we do the planning in July on the initial planning here. We do the site survey for the apron for the facilities of Wing One, and then we go to Beijing to do the final planning conference, and we do both together everything for the planning. Start as how many flights that we will have, and what class Air Force they will bring here, and how we can support them. So the planning is step down to a safety issue. We very serious on every issue. So I think this exercise is success and safe for everybody. And the key issue that make this exercise different, because we have to have some translator to support on understanding between airmen. So we get together and make a standard, and we try to do as planned. People Liberation Army Air Force brings 6 Su-27 and use some ground support from Wing One, and we bring 5 Gripen 39 CD to be trained together. The exercise take for 2 weeks, but before that both sides have prepared for the exercise. It's longer than 2 weeks. The exercise will be finished on 26, and then half will be deployed, go back on 30 November this year.